Hello friends and welcome back to Comic Show, where me and Space collab with GoCollect to help you find the books that went from hot to not, and maybe books you just forgot about that are back of your comic book freezer, where you can get the best deals on right now. How you doing, Space?
I'm doing good, dude. How about you? How's everything going?
I'm good, man. My variant is over at New York Comic Con right now, man. He called me, man. It says it's pretty damn cold, bro. So I'm wearing I'm layered, man. Something that we don't do in San Diego is layer. I'm layered. I think I'm layered. He told me he's layered with 2 shirts, a sweater, and Patagonia jacket, man.
You got
and a
need
hoodie
it out there. Yeah, you don't need any of that here. Maybe you put on a long sleeve shirt and that's it.
But he did tell me, man, to remind you guys, man, if you see my variant out there, say, yo, what's up, Hood? And you can get one of these shiny things. I heard I'm at ShinyCon, so I decided to bring something shiny for y'all.
Yeah, you gotta match all the foil that you're gonna see out there.
You know, man, but one thing he told me, man, is like, you know, it's cold as hell, so keep it cool.
Stay cool.
Alright, friends, so the first book on the list is Darth Vader #3 from March 25th, 2015. This book was written by Carry-On Gillen, and the art was done by the great Adi Granov and Salvador Larroca. Cover price on this book was $3.99 back in 2015. This is the first, bro, $3.90. How much are we at now with books now? $5.99, something like that.
It depends, but I think average is like $4.99 to $5.99.
Yeah. I heard like half the books are gonna be like $5.99, bro. Like starting like this week or next week. So
Crazy.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that, Marvel and DC. You know. So so here we go, man. Here we go with the first appearance of Dr. Aphra. You know, back in 2000, I think, 2021, right? There were rumors that Dr. Aphra was coming to the live screen over on Disney Plus because we saw this funny character, not a funny character, but this lady character that kind of looked like Dr. Aphra in The Mandalorian season 3, and that was Katie O'Brien, and I think she played the name of that character was Elia Kane. Or Elia Kane? I could be wrong, man. You guys know I'm bad with names, man.
Either or. Could be either or.
Yeah, because we have a cover that we see Dr. Aphra on from her run. And then it looked exactly like Katie O'Brien. So we really thought, that's gonna be Dr. Aphra. Then we found out her name, and it's not a match. It's not a match. And then we got some more rumors that was gonna be Chloe Bennett from the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I think that's still the leading rumor. That's still the leading rumor out there.
That's a real good choice. She's like, seems perfect to play this character. Looks looks just like her in the comics. Yeah,
looks just like her, man. I mean, I would be okay with Chloe Bennett playing Dr. Aphra.
Sure.
And then we got Black Chrysanthemum, right? In Book of Boba Fett. And that's like her, her I wouldn't say her partner, but her partner. They're both pretty cutthroat and they can't really trust each other, so but with Black Chrysanthemum coming in, I mean, the rumors were flying, man, and then everything went quiet, after Book of Boba, because I guess Book of Boba, for a lot of people that, aren't, I would say like hardcore Star Wars fans, didn't land right. I mean, it landed fine for me, man, because I'm just happy having Star Wars content, man.
Same.
I'm happy with it, man. I mean, I thought it was wild when he was writing that. What is it called? That big old, the big monster from Return of the Jedi. You guys know what?
The Rancor.
The Rancor. Yeah. When he was rolling on the Rancor, man. Yeah. We got that. We saw that. All of that in Book of Boba, man. And we all thought that it was going to lead to Dr. Aphra. The Indiana Jones of Star Wars, she's,
exactly.
Except she's not like, she doesn't have she has slightly, some goodness in her, but it's mostly just all about her. She's out to get hers, and she's out to make that money. She's not out there trying to take, stuff back to the museums. She's out there to sell it and make some cash.
She doesn't care about historical significance. She's in for hers. That's it.
Yeah, she's pretty ruthless, man. Which
Yeah,
would be a
dude.
good character, right, for Star
Oh
Wars?
yeah,
I mean,
dude.
you could have a
She.
own series that's like totally separate from like the whole Anakin Skywalker,
Yep.
Ahsoka stuff, man. And
Yeah.
I don't see why not, man. But
I think it would be. I think it'd be great. I think if they introduced her in a series, I think it would really take off. And you got like someone like Chloe Bennett to play her because
mhm,
she's such like she's polarizing, right?
mhm.
Like people love her, and there's no like females in recent mind besides Morgan Elsbeth in
Hmm.
Ahsoka that are kind of evil, that are kind of dark.
Yeah,
And
kind
she's
of
not
ruthless.
quite, yeah, and she's not quite there, but she's like, she doesn't care about nothing. She just
She don't
cares about
care.
her. Yeah.
It's all about number one with
Yep.
Dr. Afro. The when you start to like her is when she flips on you and you're like, okay,
Yeah.
you're a snake. I got bit, but you
Yeah.
could buy me a few more times. Like this
Yeah.
is,
Yeah. Yeah.
she's she's a really good character,
Yeah.
and I think
Yep.
with the with how Disney's going with just female heroes and female villains. Why not a
Hmm.
female anti-hero in
Oh, totally. Yeah. Absolutely, dude.
in Dr. Afro? All right, friends. So 9.8's on the market. There are 4,278 out there on the census, man. That is a lot of books, right? That is this book is
So
not.
many books.
Yeah, this book is not rare, man. This book sold 1,381 times. That's way more books than books on the census for other major keys. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
don't
Big
think you
time.
got a rare book when you got a 9.8, man. Just be
No.
happy with it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
the fair market value on this is $230. The 1 year moving average is at $248, and the 30-day moving average is $201. That big gap between the 1 year and 30-day means that books are settling a lot less than $200 sometimes.
Hmm.
That is a big gap, man. That is a big gap. I think.
Yeah, it is. It is from 1 year from before. Man, that's yeah. Like I don't know. Like this book was on fire before.
Bro, this
Like
is the book to have. Like all
eh,
the prints. There's multiple prints of this book as well. Like.
everybody wanted one. Yep. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, the prints go deep, man. The prints go deep. I mean, I don't know. I think by 4 or 5 prints of this, man, it goes pretty deep. I think it's
Yeah.
four, right? 4 prints. Was it four?
There's it. I'm pretty sure there's four like ones with different colors, and then there was like a special one, and then there was like a
Yep.
convention one and a
And there's a
variant.
Halloween one, and
Yeah, yeah. So
yeah,
there's quite a few out there, but once you get into that third print, fourth print territory, the numbers start to drop real low especially in the high grades because not many of them were ordered.
yeah. I mean, if you're looking for rarity, man, I try to hit up one of those the fourth prints.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I think it's the orange one I forgot about, or the
Like
green. There's a
I
ton,
think it's
man.
a purple. Yeah, I think it's like a
Yeah, the
purple one.
purple
Yeah.
one, the
Hmm.
purple one. Yeah,
Yeah.
like there's a tons of prints of these, man.
Yep.
But yeah, it's like I said. I mean, if you when you see that big gap between the 1 year and 30-day moving average, man, this is probably a book you could best offer. You can get pretty cheap on bids. I would look for
Oh
bids
yeah.
on this one. Like
Yeah.
you could probably snag one up for $150. I would think, man.
Yeah,
So
dude. Yeah. Or even I mean, where you're getting to that point, but if you look at the FMV on the 9.4, and you might be able to work a little magic. Someone just didn't clean and press it or something. You never know.
yeah, you never know, man.
Yeah.
But let's check out the eBay on this one. All right, man. So we see. So I put up a couple of the other prints up on here, man, just so
Yeah.
everybody can see. Because I knew we were gonna talk about like the multiple prints on this. So we got a 9.8 at it was a third print. And that's a green cover. That
Mhm.
one's going for $219, which isn't that bad.
Yeah.
And
It's
like we
not
said,
bad at all.
that's not bad at all, man, for that third print.
Third print, yeah.
At a 9.8.
Hmm.
And then we have 9.8 sold on October 7th, the first print at 205, and it's pretty exact on what GoCollect has.
Yeah.
With that $17 shipping, it would probably be like a 230, 240. Then we
Yeah,
still have
right,
another
right.
one sold at 210, which
Mhm.
isn't bad, man. So you can see this
Yeah.
is kind of higher than the moving average, the 30-day moving
Yeah,
average,
yeah,
which is pretty
yeah.
good. I
Mhm.
mean, this book has some life.
Exactly.
But then you look on October 5th, and one sold, 9.8 sold for less than $199. I would say about 180.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're
They
thinking,
probably got it right at $200 all in for
yeah,
shipping and like that. Well, that's a pretty good deal. Good for
that's a
them.
pretty good deal, man. I mean,
Yeah.
this is a pretty good book to get. I don't know if hit its bottom yet. I think its bottom's probably around 180 to 150, but
Yeah.
you could probably get that deal anyway, man. If you best offer on it.
Yeah.
Especially if it's sitting there. I mean, like the list that GoCollect has on its top 100s is not just books in there, how much they're going for, but how many books are moving. So
Exactly.
that means this book hasn't been moving much. So you could actually someone can actually take your offer because it's probably been sitting there for a couple months.
Exactly.
But for Raws, it looks like $63 for Raw for near mint, another $60 on October 7th, and October 2nd less than $80, and then another first print went for $80. What do you think, bro?
I mean, I would throw out a $50 bill all day for this if I, was making offers, because I feel like $50 for a character that doesn't really seem to be going anywhere their first appearance. That's pretty fair for one, especially that's kind of as popular in comics as this one. Once the transition goes to the screen, like you're saying, this book's going to shoot back up like crazy. So now seems like the ripe time to buy this book. Like get in where you fit in. Maybe even $40 if you're at a show or something like that. That seems like a good time to get it to me.
And this book could pop, man.
Yep.
Dr. Aphra can show up anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she'll ever
Yeah.
show up in Ahsoka or this new Grand Admiral Thrawn, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
But she,
All it takes, all it takes that one little, she's in the background at a bar somewhere or something like that.
Oh,
Somebody
yeah.
sees her, and then everyone's going to go nuts, right? Because everybody's kind of been waiting for her to show up anyway. So
we have Black Chrysanthemum. she could just show
Yep.
up, and with over on Tatooine with Boba Fett.
yeah,
You know?
exactly.
Because we know, it looks like all these characters that Filoni has been, putting on live action are going to have some type of meaning, in the upcoming movies and the upcoming series.
Yeah.
So definitely, this is a book to get, because not a lot. I don't think not a lot of people that are into comics. I would say people that aren't into comics don't know about Dr. Aphra. It's
Yeah. She's kind of nobody knows who she is yet, But as soon as that hits with her, kind of showing up when having a little bit of swagger like Indiana Jones, and is, kind of like a treasure hunter and a archaeologist, quote unquote, people are going to start to gravitate towards her, just like people who read the comics do. So
but who I think of people are going to go nuts over is those crazy ass droids of hers, man.
Oh yeah, dude.
Those killer
For
droids.
sure.
Those droids. Those droids, I think they're, there's a couple covers of them, in that series. I think those are the ones that are gonna pop, man, because Disney and Lucasfilm love to sell toys, man. And those droids are, those droids are it.
Yeah, and they're different from all the other droids, right? They're like they're just as ruthless as her.
They're killers, man. They're like psychopaths.
They don't care. So it's like the flip side of the coin. Like, she tempers them out a little bit maybe, and has to like reel them back. But there's no toys like that that are like, just like, I feel like Disney's probably going to sell tons of Chopper stuff now, right? Now that Chopper's kind of gained a little bit of prominence. Dude, when these ones show up, people are really going to start to gravitate towards them, especially I think adults, because they're like, yeah, look at how awesome, what is it, 999? Is that what one of the names is? 999? Yeah. And like, look at how awesome they are. They don't care. They just murk everyone, just pulling out guns and shooting everyone. Like, they're just crazy. Okay, up next we got Toxic Avenger #1. And unless you've been, hiding in your back room and just not paying attention to what's going on, this is the movie. This is the trailer, little teaser trailer just dropped for it, with Peter Dinklage and Elijah Wood. And so this is going to be, they rebooted the movie, the old Troma movie, and it, by all accounts, it looks like it's going to be awesome. It's already getting great scores from critics who have seen rough cut of the movie, and they said it's fantastic. Everyone did a great job in it, but which is weird that this book is here right now, right? It seemed like if you got that teaser trailer, it would wouldn't be on this list. It would be on the hot list, but maybe people are, kind of iffy about it. So maybe that's why it's gone down. But, it's down 65 spots from number 35. It's sitting at 100. So it dropped all the way down this week, all the way at the bottom.
It barely stayed in the 100, bro.
Yeah.
It was like holding on by like dear life.
It's holding on by some toxic slime or something. But, it's, I love this book personally, but me, Ian knows me, like I like the weird stuff. Like I've always loved the toxic.
This is your
movies.
book, bro. I could have took this book, bro. This is your book, bro.
This is my book for sure. Matter of fact, I've had multiple of these over the years and bought and sold them. But the last one that I got looked really high grade. And somebody, like, I bought a comic online. Somebody threw it in for free, and I was like, on a whim, I heard rumors, I don't know, 2-3 years ago, they're going to reboot the movie. I'm like, cool, I'll just get this one graded. And it came back a 9.0, which isn't like crazy valuable or anything, but I was like, for a free book, not too shabby. Can't really complain. This was published in April of 1991 by Marvel, and I think it ran for like 12 or 14 issues or whatever. And some of the covers on these issues are really cool, but this one is like iconic, right? It's just like really making him look like kind of like a superhero here. But yeah, so now if you didn't know before, it's the movie's coming. I don't know if they've set a release date yet, but it's on its way. But let's check out a little bit of the data on these ones. All right, as you can see by looking at all the numbers here, there is no 10.0s or 9.9s on the census at all, which is kind of strange for a book that came out in the 90s. Maybe it just wasn't. Maybe the print run was pretty low. Really have no idea. I don't think a lot of people really collected this book unless you really liked the Toxic Avenger. I mean, like I said, it only lasted for probably about a year, 12 issues, 14 issues or something like that. But on the census, by far, the largest, not really by far, but the most on the census are 9.8s. So people they're being picky about sending this book in, right? They really want that higher grade. It's been 141 sales, and the fair market value is $230 for a 9.8. And I did remember when they first let out rumors of people who had this book graded. This book was over $500. I remember seeing it for over $500 in a 9.8, which I thought was insane at the time. But movies move everything. So you got a 1 year average of 187, and the 30-day moving average is up. From the 1 year. Wow. So it is selling. It's just, but it has taken a little bit of a drop this last week. 9.6 and 9.4 obviously have a little bit less on the census with 397, 250. And then fair market value, the difference in those 9.6 and 9.4, is only $40. It's pretty much almost close to half of what a 9.6 is, almost close to half of what a 9.8 is. But that 9.4 for $80 all day long, or even, I mean, realistically, best offers on that, like we're saying when we get to the eBay portion. But what a steal! 9.4 and a 9.2. Why even buy a 9.2? It's the same. They're going for about the same amount of money. Anything below is kind of silly unless this really takes off and everyone is clamoring for a graded Toxic Avenger book.
Bro, this book actually has life, though, man. It
looks
like
it's moving.
It's kind of like a mini, a mini Dazzler. It
kind of is.
Look at the 30-day average on the 9.8 is higher than the 1 year, and then the 30-day on the 9.6 is higher than the 1 year.
9.0 is all the way down to 9.0. There, it's all up on that 30-day. It's definitely selling a little bit, and people are they definitely have interest. It just kind of maybe took a little tank because, like I was saying, maybe people are iffy this week. They don't really know or trust people's reviews of the movie yet, so I guess we'll kind of have to wait to see.
And this was like a standalone film, right? We were kind of talking in the backstage about that. It's not hooked into Sony, it's not hooked into Disney.
Exactly. But I will say the originals, there was a series of Toxic Avenger movies, so I mean they'll most likely leave the door open to make some sequels, but like you said, it's not hooked into any one studio besides the original or the people who are redoing it, and Troma, who's the company that owns this, and besides a bunch of other weird, awesome movies too.
Yeah, and I like that Legendary has it too. It's one of the production companies. I mean, they're the ones that did the the Batman series,
Yep.
Dark Knight and all that. Man, they
Yep.
did really good stuff with that. I mean, that was the movie before all the Marvel stuff came up. Like in the 2000s.
Yeah. Everyone started gravitating towards Batman. So that's why it's like, oh yeah, now the MCU is here and they all kind of move that way. I'm waiting for the the Batman stuff to kind of kick off again. It kind of seems like it did with the last Batman movie too. So hopefully it continues down that route. But yeah, there's a bunch of cool characters in the Toxic Avenger universe, so that might open the door for those as well. You never know. I don't know how many comics really made out of him besides Toxie. That's his nickname. If you didn't know, everyone kind of calls him Toxie. But yeah, so I guess we'll see. Okay, so over on eBay, you see, just recently a sale for just about $230, $250. So dead on the money, pretty much with GoCollect. Somebody had it's exactly what it is after shipping. Pretty much, you're not really gonna find any better, at least just for the recent ones. But somebody had a signature series for about 400, 415, somewhere around there, and that's not too bad. Over it, you kind of would expect to see about $100 to $150 over for a yellow label versus a blue. But somebody had a CBCS underneath that for $224, best offer accepted. I bet you they probably shot him a 180 and countered with a 190 or something. So they got a decent deal on that one, more than likely with fairly cheap shipping. So, but yeah, the raws, $25 pretty much all day. There's one kind of outlier down there at the bottom that got sold for $50 and
another near mint
or $40. Yeah. Near mint
Don't
minus.
Fall for it, man.
Don't do it, dude. Just like you can look, and if it looks pretty good, don't just pay them whatever they're asking. Shoot them an offer, because 9 times out of 10 you're going to get that book back and it's going to look like a freaking dog had it for a week. So it's better just to stay on the safe side, go with at least half of what they're offering, and then you kind of work in between from there if you're really feeling it. But otherwise, no. But yeah, this is it's funny that second one down on the right there that sold for $25 with $8 shipping, that's a newsstand. And in the early 90s, newsstands were super uncommon.
Yeah.
So if you have one of those and you get it in high grade, expect to see a little bit more money coming your way if you wanted to sell it. So
yeah, and I mean, newsstands are always pretty hard to find in good condition anyway. Because if you think about them, those newsstands were either like in bookstores where people didn't care about the handling of the books, or in your market.
Yep. Exactly. On a rack. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
And in the 90s, we still had newsstands. Remember those newsstands?
Yeah.
Kids don't know about newsstands, man.
Like an actual newsstand. We're not just talking about the newsstand comic book itself.
On the street.
Walking down the street, some dude sitting in kind of like a shed looking thing, selling papers and gum and soda and comic books. But those don't really exist anymore, except for probably a couple spots in big urban cities like New York and Chicago and stuff.
I'm in New York right now, and I'm going to tell myself, my other self in the other universe that's in New York, look for the newsstand. If I see a newsstand there, I am going to take a picture of it for everybody. I'm like, newsstands still live, bro. Perfect. Newsstands still are alive.
If you do that and they have a comic book, you have to buy it.
I will.
Yeah, nice.
I definitely will, bro.
Well, that's a good experiment, because then you can kind of see, oh, hey, this thing's beat to crap, but it was $2 or $3 or something like that. You can see how many people kind of handled it, right? It's a good experiment. That'd be cool.
That'd be awesome if I see a newsstand, man. I'd be like, damn, they're still alive, bro.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. I got faith in you. Find one.
faith in I'm the faith for all Gen X guys, right?
Exactly.
Or Gen Z guys, or whatever we are.
Yeah, exactly. We gotta find one. All right. Next book up, we got X-Men number 101, and this should not. If anybody who's watching this show and hasn't seen this book, I'd be surprised if you haven't. This is the first appearance of the Phoenix, published in October of 1976, with an awesome cover. This
Awesome.
is like, it's
Classic.
such a classic, cool cover. I'm not even, I like the X-Men. I'm not even that big of an X-Men fan, but this is top 3 X-Men cover for me personally. But I just love it. It looks so rad. She looks so tough, just ready to drown everyone. But this one is down 26 spots to number 77 from number 51, and I don't think you can go wrong having this book in your collection ever. Yeah. Like, it doesn't matter if it's down or up. If you can find this book at a decent price for a pretty decent grade, I would say pick it up, because this book moves pretty much almost any grade you have it in. Doesn't really matter if you got a VF or you got a G. It's people are going to want this book. Even if you don't like it yourself, I feel like this is a good book to buy investment wise. And even if you wanted to sit on it for a couple of years or sell it right away and you can make some money on it, go for it. This is like such a cool book. Do you have this book?
Yeah, I do, man. I do. Nice. And the thing about it is, like, when we do this list, I look to see if I have this book, and I'm like, I thought I didn't, but I do, and I don't remember how I got it.
Nice. I personally don't have this book, but I have been looking for it for a while, for a good price. I've never come across it for anything that I really wanted to pay, especially the last couple of years, because I feel like X-Men is just kind of, everyone's kind of been at a fever pitch for X-Men stuff the last couple of years. They've been really, really interested, and to see what the MCU is going to do now that they can come into the MCU, and people really, really are always looking for this book. So
yeah, it's a classic book, man.
Yeah, dude, and such a rad cover too. So, but yeah, Dave Cockrum, he's awesome cover. Well, let's check out a little bit of the data on this one. All right, as we check out a little bit of the numbers here, you can see the most heavily graded grade of this book is 8.5, the most common one that is graded, with 730. The 9/8, there's 182 on the census with 112 sales. So this book is selling a lot. It's being bought and sold quite a bit, but it has that $6,000 fair market value. That just goes to show you, for only about that many of them that are on the census, people are really wanting this book. It's going back and forth.
Yep.
Kind of a lot.
That's a lot, dude. 112
dude,
for 182.
Yeah. Usually you don't even see, like, it's like maybe an eighth of what the census count is for the sales for a really, like, book that people are clamoring for. And for it to be that high, for that many sales, for that book, that kind of shows you something. People are always looking for this book, kind of like what we were saying before. 9/6s, 424 with a FMV of $2,200. 9/4, $1,300, just about close to half of what that 9/6 is. But the price difference from a 9/8 to a 9/6 in this book is a lot wider. It's it's just about 3 times. Usually it's about half, but this is about 3 times. That just goes to show you that this book is probably pretty tough to get in that real high grade. It's from the bronze, late bronze, right there era of comics, and so it's showing you that not a lot of people have these with only that many on the census. And keep in mind, this is just the CGC census too.
They got a 9.4 is $1,300, man. That's a lot.
Yeah, exactly. For and that's not considered a low grade, obviously, but for it to be that much money in a 9/4, that really kind of shows you something. That's up from the 30-day on the 9/4 too. That's so it has risen, but it has kind of fallen. And I really don't know why, to be honest. This kind of took that much of a dip, down 26 spots. Like,
it's a classic book, man.
It is. It's you don't really see this book drop like that far. Usually it'll drop like 10 spaces, maybe 15, but 20. This is a quarter of the list. It's gone down. Maybe people are just they're offloading stuff right now while they wait for news of the X-Men. Because I don't know about you, but it seems like when they kind of did the Phoenix storyline in the last X-Men movies, people
in the 90s.
Yeah. Well, the most recent ones, like that they did, right? She was
Oh
she
yeah, yeah,
became
yeah,
she
yeah.
became like she was starting to become the Phoenix or whatever.
Hmm.
Couldn't control her powers, just like the original one.
Hmm.
I think people weren't very receptive to that, and I'm really hoping that they can do something cool with the storyline because it's just such a cool character. There's so many cool things that you can do with the Phoenix, whether it's just a character or start to explore parts of the storyline. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm looking for this book. But I mean, when I was sitting here looking through the grades beforehand, it really seems like that 9.0 is kind of like the sweet spot, right?
Yep.
There's not quite as many, just over $700. The third, and it's up from the 30-day. I bet you know if you were going to kind of look at someone who had a decent, maybe around a 9.0 copy of this, you could be like, hey man, here's $600. What do you think?
Yeah, you could probably, yeah, definitely, man. That
Mhm.
that is a sweet spot right now.
Yeah, yeah. It
I'm
seems
looking
like
at the
they.
30-day average too,
Mhm.
670.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
exactly. So I think
yeah,
you could, and that's potential, right? Like if it hasn't been cleaned and pressed, that's potential to even if you wanted to get it graded, get even higher grade.
even like
So,
the 9.2 and 9.4. Like you look at the 9.4, man. That's or the
mhm.
9.2. That one's probably been sitting on the shelf for a minute. Look,
Yeah, yeah.
there's nothing sold in the 30 days, last 30
No,
days. So
exactly. Yeah, same thing as the top two grades, right? Like
yep.
nobody's buying or selling those books in the last month or so. They're holding them, so that it shows you that the lower grades are moving a little bit, and that's the time when you start making the offers,
Hmm.
on those
Hmm.
books. And this
Yeah.
book, I mean, it's not crazy old, right? It's bronze, so it's like
No.
it's respectable to have in pretty much anything over a 7.0.
Oh man, I'd take it between it. For me, I'd be like 8.0, 8.5,
Mm-hmm.
7.5 to 8.5. That would be me.
Yeah, agreed.
I
Yeah,
don't
but
that's
even
respectable for me for a Bronze Age,
Mhm. Oh yeah, exactly. For this book for sure. But yeah, let's check out a little bit what of the raw stuff on eBay says. So you can check out the all the graded stuff right there on the left hand side of the screen. 9.6 went for just over 2K. Another 9.6, same thing, 2,200, right under 2,200. So it's all that's exactly what GoCollect is saying. It's right at that point, right? Exactly the mark they're saying, but right there on the right, that top one, best offer accepted, $600.
Hmm.
That's what I was saying. Like you could offer maybe around 7.075 and $600. Here you go. What do you
Hmm.
think? And that's the way to do it. Somebody had this approximate 6.0 at 344. They got a pretty good deal because unless that thing is thrashed inside or on the back or something, it looks fairly decent, and that's $200 less than kind of what it's selling for, 250 less. So yeah,
Yeah,
like
and as you can see, most of these books sold in August, man. So
yep,
September, October wasn't many sales.
yep,
So
yep,
and to find a 9.8 over on eBay, man, that's probably a heritage book. So
yeah, yeah,
nine
yeah.
sixes are gonna or it's gonna be selling on eBay.
Yep, yeah. 9.2s through 9.6 is the stuff that's going to be moving as far as the graded books already go. And I know a lot of people who love X-Men, right? It's a beloved franchise in the comics. Like people know it's like one of the big three, right? It's like I personally I feel it's like X-Men, Spider-Man, and Fantastic Four. That somebody knows kind of who they are, even if you don't
Hmm.
really know about comics. So people are always going to be looking for this book. Doesn't matter if it's graded, if it's raw, if it's low grade, if it's high grade raw. They're always going to be searching out for this book once they start to get invested and interested in the X-Men. So never really a bad time to own this book, at least.
All right, friends. For the next one, we got Marvel Superhero Secret War #1. This was at number 35. It went down 14 spots from number 21. Man, this was written on May 10th, 1984. The writer of this was Jim Shooter. Man, this is when he was trying to save Marvel. He's like, we got to
Yeah,
come up with something, man. This is like a pivotal moment for Marvel. Artist on this was Christy Shield, the great Mike Zeck, man, and the great Joe Rosen. So this was like the big long shot for Jim Shooter, and he
hmm
actually made it happen.
yeah. This
Um,
one paid off. This is
this
this
is
was the thing. This was like the turning point for Marvel. They're like, okay, cool. We're starting making money again.
Yep. From this came, the symbiote, the black Spidey suit, and then
Hmm
from the black Spidey suit, the symbiote went to Venom, And then there we go, man. There was a resurrection for Marvel,
Yep.
back in the late 80s, early 90s, man. Cover price on this was 75 cents, man. So you got some Copper Age goodness right here. Copper Age
Yeah.
goodness, man.
Yeah. You got it. Like, if you have Copper Age books, this is like you have this or at least one issue of Secret Wars in your collection somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, for your collection, you have to have the entire, Secret Wars, run, man. That's just like one of the runs you need to have, man. For throw your setup Saturdays. You know what I'm saying?
There you go. Yep.
Like man, how come I forgot not to throw this up, man? We gotta do this.
We gotta. Yeah, we'll have to do that. Yeah, for sure.
You could even get a little respect for Secret Wars too, man. Throwing that setup too. So
or even the new Secret Wars. There you go. Yep.
There you go, man. The most popular one out of this is Secret Wars #8, man. That's where we have like Peter Parker in the black Spidey suit doing the Michael Jackson Thriller. So that's like one of the most popular ones, man. I got me one, man.
Yeah,
I got it signed by the entire crew. So
me too. Yep.
I love it, man. I love it. And that book has been homaged a million times.
So many times. Like I feel like whenever it's like a new con season, somebody does an homage. Doesn't matter what title or publisher, somebody does an homage to Secret Wars 8.
And I don't mind. No,
me either. They're usually pretty cool.
Yeah, they're always cool, man.
Yep.
Yeah, this book, this book is always kind of sat in the top 100. But everybody's kind of guessing or speculating that the MCU is going to be moving towards the Hickman run, which I kind of agree with, right? The Hickman run brings in has Doom, and it brings Miles Morales in. I think that's the way to go. If you want to have a future, you have to bring Miles Morales in, and that's the best way to do it, right?
Exactly.
Exactly. But this is a book, like it's a classic, man. You can never hate on it, man. It's like it's one that we all have in our collection, and one that we all love. So,
Yep.
All right, guys. So on the 9.8 on the census, there's 1,544 of these. This book kind of moves a lot too. There's about 875 were sold. The fair market value on that 9.8 is $270. The 1 year moving average is at $391, and the 30-day moving average is about $205. So you can see, man, this book price has been dropping. It's been free falling. Like if you could see that gap, it's a $200 gap almost, man. So
and that's a lot. That's a lot of sales too, especially in that book. I mean, this was a pretty heavily printed book, but that's quite a number of sales for that high of a grade.
But check out there's not much of a difference between that 9.8 and 9.6 in the fair market value. It's about 230.
Not
at all, man.
That's kind of surprising.
They get a 9.4 is 210, and then a 9.2 is 200.
That's like that. Really, not that much room in between, right? Save another $70 and get yourself a 9.8.
I mean, you could get probably if you're looking at that 1 year average and that 30-day on at 9.8, you could probably bank one for $200, man. So. But if you want to spend half the price, the 30-day moving average on that 9.6 is only $97. So pretty decent book to get right now, man. At that price. So it looks like probably there's a lot of them sitting on the eBay shelf and the shelf already at your LCS as well, man. So
probably
pretty. I mean, I feel bad for this book. It's really taking It's really taking a nosedive, dude. I can't.
What's crazy is look at that 30-day average for a 9.6. $97. 120.
What?
That's crazy, dude. That's like
man.
You get those. I mean, this is like it's always been since I started collecting again. This has been a $10 book minimum.
Yeah.
Usually, right? I think that it hit about $40 kind of at the top, $40-$50 when I was starting to really watch it. But for a 9.6, for 97 for a 30-day average, what's going on with that? That's really weird.
Yeah, man. That's just it's sad, man, to see, it's sad. This is a pretty classic book, and hopefully it'll get the love it deserves, man, soon. But right now, the best love we could do is like trying to buy this thing at a 9.8 for a good price, So,
yeah.
Which you probably can, man.
I think you definitely can. So throwing some offers out there,
All right, guys, and let's check eBay on the prices on these. So that 9.8. Look, there's some hope, man. This book is still selling for over that $200 mark at
Yeah.
217 on 31 bids.
Yeah.
So
It's
and that
pretty
went
good.
for 217 straight because there's no free shipping. Or
Mm-hmm.
no, that's $10
No, no,
shipping on that one.
$10. So yeah,
Yeah, $10 shipping.
225 is, 230, whatever. That's not bad.
Looks like the one on October 1st probably went for about 225. I would say.
Yeah, yeah, that's
225.
probably pretty fair.
And that the one on September 28th probably went for 225 as well.
Yeah.
They get that near mint
Agreed.
copy, man, of the raw one for $35. Huh. Not
Yeah,
bad.
like
Not bad.
there you go. Like kind of like what I was saying, right around it went up to about $40, but maybe this one just looks super sharp or crispy or something,
Yep.
Seems like realize to me it seems like it's probably about a $20 to $25 book raw.
hmm Yeah, it was on September 24th and October 2nd. Went sold for $15 on bid.
Yeah. There
Second
you go.
printing, it says here, man. VF
Mm-hmm.
9.0.
Yeah.
And on September 12th, VF near mint went one for $54, man.
Yeah.
Oh, with
Yeah.
$25 shipping.
Oh, from the
Damn.
UK. All right, there you go.
When you-
Yeah.
Dang. Someone
Somebody
got lucky.
really, yeah, somebody really wanted that book, and that guy got lucky. Good for him.
One seller got lucky, man. Yeah, he probably had that
Yeah.
on he probably had it on there for a bit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Ready to just take it. Yep.
Yeah, but definitely a book, we all have in our collection, man. And if you don't, man, this is a good, really good run to get you into what is Marvel is now. Like this is the
Yeah.
book that kind of set up modern Marvel. So
This seems like a pretty safe bet in my opinion, at least, to be able to find something that is a book that is going to sell in the future, because they want to do a Secret Wars that's been hinted at forever. They already did Secret Invasion, which is totally different. Obviously, don't get those confused, but they have hinted at doing a Secret Wars for a long time. And like we said, maybe it's probably going to go with the Hickman, but this is a book that people are always going to want as well.
But if you're a Doctor Doom fan, this is a really good book, man. This is
yeah.
if you really want to get to know Doctor Doom, man, you got to you got to read this series too, man. I would say it's a Doctor Doom like run, like
it pretty much is. Yeah, he has kind of control over the whole thing in this, or throughout the majority of it, and yeah, if you dig Doctor Doom, this is a good jumping on point.
Doctor
Sure.
Doom, Beyonder, a lot of good stuff in this book, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, if you ain't got this, man, definitely a good one to get, man.
All right, up next we got one of the biggest books, right, that you can get if you're a Marvel Comics fan. This is Iron Man #1, not his first appearance, but his first in title. This book was published in April of '68, and this is an iconic book. A lot of people who love Iron Man really go after this book. I don't hate on this book at all. I'd be thankful to have it, but to me, this cover art always seemed a little wonky. The pose was a little strange.
I thought it was just me. I thought it was just me.
No, dude. I think there's a good legion of us who kind of feel the same. I just was like, this is kind of a strange looking #1. The angle of his head looks all up, and like are you trying to see up his nose? I don't know. It's just to me, it's a strange looking cover, but it's a #1 early Marvel book published in the '60s, right? Silver Age book. Yeah, I mean, what more can be said? This is not his first appearance. Like I said, that book goes for way more money. The Tales of Suspense book goes for way more money, but this one is down 15 spots from number 36, sitting at number 51 on the hot list. So it's cooled off a little bit. Not a lot of spots, just a few. It's not too bad. I don't think this book will ever completely go away. People are always going to be hunting this book. Imagine if you came across a collection and you see this Iron Man #1, you're going to get amped. Doesn't matter if you like the book or not. If you're an Iron Man fan or not, you're going to be excited that you came across this book, right? And
if you came across this book, you're going to try and keep a straight face.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You're gonna go, oh yeah, this might be worth a little bit of money. This is but you probably won't be able to play it off. I wouldn't be able to. I'd be too amped. But yeah, like it's down a few spots. So like I said, it's never going to completely go away, but there's always going to be an interest in Iron Man, even though we don't have Iron Man as Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man in the MCU anymore. We might get another iteration of him somewhere along the line, or somehow. Who knows? But yeah, let's check out a little bit of the numbers on this book. Okay, you can see the key significance in there, and I don't know if we ever really talked about that with GoCollect before, but I like that they throw that in there. It's not every key, but it's the big ones. They will tell you kind of what goes on. So if you don't really know the importance of the book, they'll give you a little blurb about it and kind of tell you what's going on with it. So that's pretty awesome. April 30th of 1968. Cover price was 12 cents. Man, I missed those.
12 cents, bro. That's a Silver Age. That's Silver Age goodness right there.
Yeah, dude. When I started collecting, I think books were right around the 75-cent mark, or maybe closer to $1. Maybe they were $1 right around there. So we missed those early days. But I mean, even back then, that was nobody spending 12 cents on something that's quote unquote disposable. They didn't think anything of them back then. But yeah, so there's 9.9s. There's 3 of them on the census. Jeez. Only 3. Yeah. And so one sold just recently.
That's it.
This year. Just one. Exactly. So that 1 year average is what it's sold for, right? So $106,000. So this book sold for the price of a house somewhere in the United States. Or even over the price of a house in the United States.
That's a good start to the retirement fund, bro.
Yeah, dude. Like, you come across this and you find that high grade copy of this, good for you. And you don't really care about Iron Man, go buy a house.
Man, how did that book survive, though? How did that book survive? Because this is a dark cover, man.
Yep. I'd like to see one. I've never seen this book in that high of a grade. Any books from the Silver Age, when I see them in a 9.8, I'm always kind of amazed. Doesn't matter what color cover. I'm just amazed that they are that well preserved.
Did CGC give it leniency? Do they think they give him leniency, bro? Like, cause it's
I don't know. I feel like they kind of do with page color. Like, I think that older, what was considered white pages before isn't what's considered white pages now. So I think there's leniency there. There's differences depending on the era of comics that you're grading. But with cover, I mean, that thing's got to be crispy for a 9.9. Like, that's
$6,000.
I'd like to see it. If you see one while you're out at Comic-Con, I'm talking to the other Ian. If you see a 9
in the New York universe,
in the New York universe, in New York, Comic-Con universe, like, let's take a picture of a 9.9 or a 9.8 in a high grade. Let's see from the Silver Age. Let's see a book like that. Maybe you'll find one of these Iron Men that are there. Who knows? But
if I could, bro, I would tell you. I would take a picture of it for you, bro. If I see a 9.9,
I want to see it.
Even just any 9.9 Silver Age book, bro. Like, I just can't. It's hard to fathom, like, a book surviving that long. In great condition.
Well. Yeah, that's crazy.
Because you can't even get a modern book, bro, at a 9.9. No. It's only been out for like a week.
Yeah, it has to be a square bound book with super thick paper. Like, there's TMNT Last Ronin #1, right? That's the book you're going to find in 9.9 or something like that. You're not going to find an Iron Man #1 in a 9.9. That's crazy.
For it to be, printed and handled right by, like, the people that made it, shipped right, then handled by its owners for I don't know what, 40, 50 years, man.
Yep. Put on the rack, put on the newsstand, because that's where it was before. And
they bought it off a newsstand in New York or something, bro.
Exactly. Yeah, they put it they wrapped it in Saran wrap or something. So who knows?
I mean, the luck of it not being wrapped up in some kid's back pocket, while he's going home.
Yep. Yeah, somebody set their coffee cup down on it 10 times or something. Yeah, it's like that's pretty nuts. But I mean, even in a 9.8, there's 35 of those. I mean, for this book,
only 30. Yes, it's not very many, bro.
No. It's crazy that many have survived. But yeah, FMB is 27 grand on this. So if you get this book if you get this book in anything over like a 8.0, it's for a decent price. That's a good return on your investment, right? 9.6, there's 96 of them. 9.4, there's 185 of them. And that just drops the FMB down to just over $4 grand, but those high grade books of this, you can look through, they're not moving. No 3 months, no 30-day averages, all the way down to 9.4. They're not going anywhere. People are holding on to this book. So maybe
not
that's
very many of them, you know, like it's just
no. There isn't exactly. So they don't really want to get rid of him. Maybe they're hoping that Iron Man comes back, and when he does, they're going to be like, hey, this is going to be relevant again, and make a little bit of money on whatever I paid for it. But the 7.0s are the most highest on the census with 666 of them.
That one's
right?
moving.
Yeah, exactly. Fair market values, a grand. 1 year average is a grand. 30 days just under a grand. So those are getting sold a lot. 292 sales. That's the most out of all the sales, whether in the last year or 30 days. So it's just like Ian said, it's moving around. All right, and that kind of shows you right there. That first one up on the left on October 1st went for just under $2,000 with free shipping. So that's kind of what, around that price range. That's kind of what GoCollect is saying. You can get probably a low to low mid-grade copy of this book raw, or it looks like under $600, just to kind of depending on what you think it's going to go for there. But that's not horrible. $257 for Iron Man #1, even in a pretty low grade. That's probably a good investment to sit on, because even though it's cooled off, I think that Iron Man in some shape or form is going to come back somehow, whether it's RDJ or it's someone else doing a different kind of take on Iron Man. I think that he's too popular of a character to just completely abandon in the MCU. He'll show up somehow. What do you think?
RDJ's coming back, bro. You
think so?
You can't say no to $1 million, man. For a 3-minute cameo.
Multiple millions. Yeah, here we'll give you 12 mil. Just
show up.
Smile in the background, or something.
Look at Anakin Skywalker. Coming back, man. Like when he came back in Ahsoka, those are probably the best parts of that whole show.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, I agree with you there. And you know what? It's a little bit of a tangent here, but I'm so stoked for Hayden Christensen, because he's so happy that he's just like kind of finally accepted as Darth Vader. He's just like, people don't hate me anymore as this character. They kind of like me now. And I'm like,
oh, we love him, bro. We love it.
Like, but before, remember, he was so hated when he was.
I was one of them that hated him.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, everyone kind of did to a certain extent, I think. But I'm just happy that he's happy with the character now. He's happy portraying it now, whereas before, I think it kind of left a sour taste.
He plays it so good now, man. He plays it so good. Like, I mean, just like age and like maturity, dude. He plays it so well. I was like, dude.
Yeah. There's no real awkwardness to him anymore. And also, I think I think part of that is the writing. I think that's what kind of helps him along with that. But yeah, I'm just happy for him, man. And I'd be happy if RDJ came back, like you said, even if it was just for a couple seconds.
You can't turn down $12 million, bro. There's no, not even Robert Downey Jr. can say that, man.
You're right. If you were him, would you?
Bro, you tell me like the show for a day, and I get like $1 million, bro. Like I'll be there. I'll be there tomorrow. Don't even worry. Like I'm coming right now.
Book the flight.
I'll drive there. You don't even have to like fly me there. I'll drive there. All right, amigos, that's the show for this week, man. We hope we found some books for you that you were looking for, and that you're gonna make some really good offers on. And just remember, I'm out in the New York Comic-Con universe. If you see me, and you want to get another one of these shiny things, man, you can pick up a sticker from me, and I'll gladly hand it out to you. Just say, yo, what's up, Hood, man, and you got a sticker, man. And
I gotta get one of those shiny ones, dude. I have one of the OG ones that's white. I need one. I need a shiny one.
I got you, bro. Oh. Near mint, man. Near mint.
Nope.
And remember, guys, man, to follow my homie right here, Craig, Space Ferret Collectibles. Is right down there in the description. Also, go check out GoCollect. GoCollect's right down there. Thank you again to Sarah for the collab and always sending us the dope books, man, and the dope list. And make sure you like and subscribe to this podcast as well, man. We really appreciate it, man. If you want to show appreciation for the show, like and subscribe and hit that bell, man. It's not gonna hurt. You know what I'm saying?
It's free.
It's free, man. It's free. It's totally free.
That's right.
And you know what, man? I'm out in New York, man. I know it's cold. Like it's not Southern California. So you know I'm keeping it cool, right? You keeping it cool? I'm keeping it cool.